Right, well, let's catch up with this game of me, the master, or grandmaster, really. It should be grandmaster versus many, not master. Don't forget, I'm a grandmaster chess.com versus the many, you guys who are voting against me. And I have to say, you've got yourself in a little bit of do-da-da trouble. That's my polite way for saying poo-poo. And I think you're struggling a bit. But it is a very interesting game so far, and maybe I'm overestimating my chances because I love to attack and I seem to have got exactly what I wanted. So the last position we looked at was after I played bishop takes b6, and here my main idea was to simply go knight takes c7 and to take on a8. But I had another idea in mind as well. And that was, of course, if I'm able to take on c7 with check, then I'm going to misplace your king. And let's remember what the aim of the game is. It's checkmate. So I want to concentrate on trying to checkmate you as well. You know, finish you off quickly. I don't want to torture you guys. You know, I don't want to torture you with a thousand cuts. I want to kill you with a slash to the throat. Because I'm a kind guy like that. Okay, so here you played a takes b6, and now, of course, I continued by capturing on c7 with check. Now, this is a very difficult position for you here. First of all, you've got to decide where to put your king, and there were some, should we say, boulders, dangers you could fall for here. For example, had you moved your king to the d file, which is an entirely possible idea, let's say king d8, well, here I have some ideas, but one of the most dangerous is not to take your rook straight away, which is still very strong for me because then my rook can come to d1 with check. So your king is very exposed because it's on the open d file. That's one of the main problems of this. Don't expose your king on an open line. I mean, you wouldn't expose yourself in public, so don't do it to your king. But a tricky move here is something like queen d3 check, with the idea, well, if you take my knight, then queen d6 would have finished you off straight away, because that's actually checkmate. You can see the power of my e-pawn in this position. And this is going to be a reoccurring theme, actually. This e-pawn is a very good... It helps me get to your king. And this is often the case in chess. If you have a pawn that's well advanced, especially in the middle of the board and the king's there, you can use this pawn to open up some lines. So you went king to e7. This did look like the safest square to me as well, because at least now, what else could you done? Well, king f8 was possible, but you're not allowing your rook options to get in the game, and you can even suffer now with the move e6 as I played in the game. King e7 looks more sensible. And now, well, I thought I had a couple of options here. I spent, you know, a good bit of time looking at this position. The simple option would have been to take your rook, and here it's equal on material, but I prefer my position because your king still looks more exposed here. I thought I may even have a move like queen to e3 here. Why queen to e3? Because I'm trying to find a way into your king, and queen to e3 has ideas of coming to g5, which is a very powerful check, and I can also just munch on the other side of the board. So I'm bringing the heavy artillery into the attack. But instead of that, I then saw a very interesting possibility of e6, and I thought, well, let's try to blast open the position straight away. And I love attacking. That's what I am most known for, and I just want to blast it open and checkmate you. And this really tries to open up the e-file directly to your king. I mean, if you now try to save your rook, something like rook b8, well, this is going to be disastrous after pawn takes pawn, and your king is just far too exposed here. It's not going to last. It's in no man's land, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe my rook 5 pieces attacking it. So it's clearly going to be game over here for you. So you tried what I consider a good move here, f6, trying to keep your king as protected behind the pawns as possible. And now again, I could take on a8, but I want to now transfer my energy to attacking you. And my knight, I actually consider to be stronger than your rook here, because your rook's not taking part in the game. And I don't really want to swap off my very dangerous knight for your rook. And the move knight d5 to me looked more dangerous, because the knight is in the centre of the board, a fantastic square. You can't develop either your rooks easily or your bishop, so you're playing very passively here, and I just want to bring more pieces to swarm around your king. Your king went to e8. Had it gone to f8 or d8, one of these two squares, I would have e7 check, which was game over. And I think considering bringing the king to d6 is suicide, because again, you're opening it up to the open file there. Maybe just rook d1 with some nasty check. So king e8, and now again, very logical play from me. I think when you're attacking, I have a rule. You look for the crash, bang, wallop, kill. I couldn't see it here. I mean, if I go back to c7 with check, it's just a check. I could have tried e7, but then I wasn't so convinced by that move. I thought I would bring another piece into the attack. So naturally, what's the only piece that's not attacking? It's my rook on a1. So what can be more natural than going rook d1? And here I had some interesting ideas, a knight c7 check, and even rook d7 in some positions to follow up with. And there's some nice checkmate ideas there. So your position's, I think, quite well, I was going to say quite bad. It looks very, very risky here because you have no coordination with your pieces. So you try to force my bishop away, understandable. I didn't see any reason not to take that pawn and to pin your knight, so I did. And now you've captured on a2, and my last move of this video is, again, I think a very natural move. I looked at some possibilities here. One possibility was, well, is knight c7 going to be good now? Is it better than last time? Because I have an extra rook attacking. So this is my first thought. But after king e7, I couldn't see a good way to break through here. I mean, I was looking briefly at rook d7 check, as I mentioned before. But after bishop takes, pawn takes, check, king takes d7, I've given up my fantastic rook for your bad bishop, and I haven't got a good continuation here, so I'm probably losing. You know, when you're attacking, you have to be very careful because you can easily lose the plot. So then I looked at other ways to try to get through to your king. Again, e7 is that was my second option. I thought, oh, that looks pretty good, you know, because now knight c7 is a big threat. But I thought you could hold on with the queen coming back to a5. And then I saw another possibility was very interesting. It's a move I played. I've noted that you've gone f6, and this has slightly weakened another diagonal towards your king. This diagonal here that I've highlighted. So I then thought, well, can I take advantage of this? Can I take advantage of this diagonal? And I thought, well, if I go knight to h4 here, my knight's not doing anything on f3, because look what it was doing on f3. Your pawn is now stopping it from ever bringing itself into the game. So again, I'm trying to maximize my pieces, and by playing knight to h4, I create a simply devastating idea of queen h5 check, and then if you block it, knight takes g6. So that's one devastating idea, trying to bring my queen into the attack. If my queen lands, it's sayonara to you. And I have another good idea, a bit like the Immortal game, from the Immortal, an idea from the Immortal game, and that is when the two knights start dancing, and this knight can now try to come to f5, and then either into g7 or to d6, and that looks really scary for you as well. So all I'm going to say is good luck on trying to defend this position, because you're going to bloody well need it. Very good luck. I think it's too late, guys. I think you're done for. So if you defend this, I will give you the Korchnoi Ward of Defence, which should be a real thing now after his sad passing. Okay, until next time, bye.